Hi everyone, December is finally here and my favorite time of the year is just around the corner. Christmas is coming finally. And now in this video I'm going to show everyone how to make a panettone, and it's quite easy. Just follow these simple steps. Here we go. First of all, prepare 400 grams of strong white flour and add it to your mixing bowl. Then add in 3/4 teaspoon of salt and mix that in with the flour using a spatula. And to create a hollow in the middle. 有400 gram 高跟麵粉同埋3/4茶匙嘅鹽，之後再加60 gram 嘅糖。So we add in 60 grams of sugar and 150 ml of milk, 150 ml 嘅奶，同埋2茶匙嘅 yeast and 2 teaspoons of yeast. And I'm gonna crack in 2 eggs, 打2隻蛋入去。所有嘢都係要盡量用返室溫。好啦，倒晒落去。Okay, so everything should be at room temperature. Now we use the hook attachment. 呢個叫做一個勾啊，咁用嚟打呢個麵粉。We use the hook attachment to mix in the flour along with the other ingredients. Turn it on low initially, and slowly speeding it up. 初時一定要係慢啲，咁之後慢慢加返快。如果唔係，啲麵粉就周圍飛嘅啦。Okay, so you can speed it up a little bit more when it's combined. 冚返個蓋先，就加返快啲啦。So we put on the lid first before we speed things up in case things go flying all around. So let it continue mixing for a while, and you will see that the dough is going to come together and it doesn't stick to the sides of the bowl as much. 等個麵團再打多一陣啦，咁個麵團就唔會黐住嗰個兜側邊咁多㗎啦。We need to knead this for about 5 minutes. 呢個麵團需要搓成5分鐘嘅，用呢部機。咁好啦，攞出嚟睇下咩情況先。Let's remove it to see what it looks like. Now it's quite soft, but it's quite sticky as well. So we can use a bit of butter to so that it doesn't stick to your hands. 嗱，依家呢個麵團咧就已經係好鬆軟㗎啦，但係都未得嘅。咁我哋用手搓一搓，加啲牛油等佢唔好黐住隻手。咁就搓一搓先，搓成一個麵團就可以擺一隻。So let's knead it for a little bit and so that it comes together. And then we can let it rest for about 30 minutes.可以做成一個滑溜溜嘅球。We can roll it into a very smooth ball. So now let it rest. 好啦，可以唞半個鐘啦。After 30 minutes, when you touch the dough, it's actually very, very soft and it feels light and a little bit fluffy. 過咗半個鐘之後咧，佢嘅手感咧就係好似好輕啦，同埋好滑嘅。咁我哋將啲氣泡猜出嚟，我哋 push all of the air out. So the next step is to add the rest of the butter in. 好啦，我哋下一個步驟咧就要加埋其餘嗰啲牛油。總共咧呢度有80 gram 嘅牛油。好啦，咁我哋用翻呢一個鈎嚟到去打呢個麵團咧。We once again attach the hook attachment and to help us mix in the butter. 咁我哋慢慢咁樣加入呢啲牛油。We slowly add all the butter in.啲牛油冇咁容易會猜落個麵團度嘅，咁你都需要打開個蓋咧，再將啲牛油刮翻出嚟，咁等佢就可以猜入呢個麵團度嘅。Now it's not going to be very easy for the butter to mix into the dough, so you will need to open the lid several times and scrape down the butter from the sides and to add it to the dough.Before you push down the lid and turn on the mixer again. So as you can see here, the butter is still sticking to the sides, so we need to open the lid and scrape down again. 咁你可以見到啲牛油都仲係黐住喺側邊嘅，咁我哋需要打開個蓋，咁就將啲牛油同埋黐喺側邊嗰啲麵粉咧，咁再刮翻出嚟，等佢再打翻入去啦。我哋見到個麵團差唔多得啦。We can see that the dough is finally coming together. Now let me show you what other ingredients we have. This is the zest of 1 orange and 1 lemon. 呢個係一個橙同埋一個檸檬嘅皮。And this is candied orange peel. 呢個係我用糖醃製過嘅橙皮。And 呢個係提子乾同埋cranberries。咁提子乾係100 gram 啦，cranberries 都係100 gram 嘅，咁橙皮就60 gram。So that's 60 grams of the orange peel, 100 grams of the cranberries, and 100 grams of raisins. Now the dough is still quite sticky, so it's not where I want it to be. So I'm going to have to knead it some more. 嗱，呢一個麵團你見到都仲係比較黐嘅，即係喺黐住個兜嘅側邊啦咁樣。咁我哋都變咗係仲要再猜耐啲嘅。咁我哋等部機再猜多10分鐘咁上下。So let the machine knead it for another 10 minutes. Okay, now we can see that the dough is come together very nicely. It doesn't really stick to the sides anymore, and it's quite soft and moist. So I think we can move to the next step. 好啦，依家見到個麵團咧已經唔會再好黏住側邊㗎啦，個兜側邊嗰度。佢嘅狀態都係好軟熟嘅，好濕潤，好靚嘅。好啦，依家我哋可以搓成一個球咁樣，等佢擺翻個零兩個鐘，等佢再發大啦。We can wait for about an hour and a half to 2 hours for it to proof. So after an hour and a half, you can see that our dough has more than double in size. 隔咗個半鐘之後，呢一個麵團已經係長大咗多過1倍啦。咁我哋開個窿喺中間 ，make a hollow in the middle and add in our dry fruits, our dry sultanas, raisins, and cranberries. 乾果同埋呢一個橙皮同埋檸檬皮嗰個叫做 Zest. Add in your orange and lemon zest, as well as the candied orange peel 同埋呢一個用糖醃製過嘅橙皮，加晒落去。再一次擺翻個勾落嚟，咁將以上嘅材料同埋個麵團搓勻。Let's reattach the hook and mix the dough along with the fruits that we just added. 咁中途可能你都要停一停部機，用支棒嚟將啲材料再推一推，然後再開機。You might need to turn your machine off midway so that you can scrape down the sides before turning on your machine again. 你見所有嘢已經搓勻啦，咁就已經差唔多可以攞出嚟㗎啦。Now everything looks well incorporated, so I think we're ready to go. 將你個台上擺少少麵粉，用嚟搓呢個麵團。Place a little bit of flour on a working surface to knead your dough. 你可以用呢個接推嘅方式嚟到去搓呢個麵團，一接一推都好簡單。You can use the fold and push method to knead your dough. This is usually the method that I use. 跟住就將個麵團搓成一個圓形。The next step is to make your dough into a round shape. 咁我預先就準備咗一個20cm 嘅煲，同埋亦都擺咗啲紙喺側邊，可以防黐嘅。I prepared a 20cm iron cast dish essentially and lined it with baking paper and placed my dough in the middle. 將個麵團擺喺中間。Then you place your dough in somewhere warm. Here I have placed it in the oven with some warm water in the bottom. 你可以將個麵團擺喺個焗爐裏邊，咁當然個焗爐就唔好開啦。咁下邊呢就可以擺少少暖水。So place it there for about 30 minutes to let it rise. 等大概30分鐘。 After 30 minutes, you can remove your dough from the oven and using a very sharp knife, score a cross shape on the top. 隔咗30分鐘之後呢，就可以將個麵團喺焗爐度攞出嚟啦。咁然後喺上邊呢，就用一把比較利嘅刀，就界一個十字。Then place a knob of butter on the top， 上邊就擺翻個牛油。然後塗上一啲嘅牛奶。You can brush some milk on the top of the dough。或者你可以選擇搽啲蛋漿都得，不過蛋漿就會令到個皮會脆啲啦，硬身啲脆啲。If you prefer, you can also use an egg wash, but I just prefer to use milk because I don't prefer that kind of like harder top。然後擺落焗爐180度30分鐘，再較低個溫度160度，再焗多20分鐘。Place in the oven at 180 degrees and bake for 30 minutes, and then reduce the temperature to 160 and bake for another 20 minutes. And wow, my kitchen smells like Christmas. This is just perfect.好啦，嚟到最後一個步驟啦。咁呢度呢，我就準備咗一啲嘅糖漿，加咗少少水，咁啊方便我容易啲可以搽喺上面。咁呢個糖漿可以令到個麵包呢上邊會有啲光滑同埋靚啲。So here we are at the final stage. I've prepared a bit of syrup, add a tiny bit of water so that it's easier to brush.So I'm just going to cover the top with the syrup to give a lovely sheen. 我嘅完成品靚唔靚啊？咁祝大家聖誕快樂 ！Wishing everybody a very Merry Christmas.